First up, Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat of Burbank and chair of the House Intelligence Committee. So, Congressman, we've heard that this unprecedented cyber attack on sensitive U.S. agencies, Treasury, Commerce, Defense, and private companies was the responsibility of the Russians. It was massive in scope. And frankly, we don't even know if it's over, and that this isn't simply a failure of cybersecurity, but a failure of deterrence against Russian hacking in the past. So how do you assess this?
I think that's certainly true. Now, it's not an issue of deterrence alone, but certainly, you can see why the Russians haven't been deterred over the last 4 years. Donald Trump has gone out of his way to praise Putin, to call the whole Russian hack of our election in 2016 a hoax. So there's not much deterrence coming out of the current administration.
Are you finished investigating President Trump?
Well, there is work that we are doing that will go on to the next year, much as we'd like to conclude it this year. But for example, we have been investigating the intelligence agency within the Department of Homeland Security and whether that agency and those resources were used to spy on protesters in Portland. We're also investigating whistleblower allegations that the intelligence analysts at the department were told, stop reporting on Russian interference in our election. It's embarrassing to the president. And likewise, very serious allegations that analysts were being pushed to hype the threat at our southern border, to promote the president's narrative about a terrorist threat coming from the south during the midterms 2 years ago. Those are very serious allegations, and they need to be fully vetted and investigated. And we've been in the midst of that for some months, but we won't be done by the end of the year. And there may very well be, Conan, other people who come forward in the new year who were deterred from blowing the whistle on corruption within the Trump administration because of the way he punished whistleblowers and he fired inspector generals, and they may have feared for their jobs. So that work may have to go on.
So there was a devastating piece in the New Yorker magazine that indicated Senator Dianne Feinstein is suffering cognitive decline, quoting those saying that while she has good days, there are periods where she can't recall conversations. She complains to staff that she hasn't been briefed on matters when she actually has been briefed. And that's why she left her post as ranking Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee. She's 87. She'll be in her 90s when her term is up in 2024. You work with her. Are you confident Senator Feinstein still has what it takes to be an effective senator from this state?
I am. My interactions with her have always been very positive. We've worked hand in hand on intelligence issues for years. She does her homework. She's thoughtful and substantive and hardworking. And I've learned a lot from her. And so, again, I think it will be her future will be completely up to Dianne Feinstein.
Donald Trump received 11 million more votes in 2020 than he did in 2016. What does that tell you about his impeachment, which you helped navigate, and whether it resonated with the American people? It did with some, but he received over 70 million votes.
Well, I would say the fact that he lost by more than 7 million votes, and that states like Georgia flipped and Pennsylvania flipped and Arizona and Michigan, that tells me that I think that the case that we made against him during the impeachment resonated with enough people to change or to play a role in changing the result in those key states. The fact that so many millions still supported Donald Trump after his corruption had been proven, and in fact, he would go on to do things that would cost the lives of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of Americans, shows, I think, just again, how tribal we have become, how we've retreated into different party camps, and how we get our information from different places. And that's going to be an enduring challenge. When I was young, I watched Walter Cronkite, as you probably did. And that was a time when we could agree on a broad group of facts, and we might differ on what to do with those facts, but at least we agreed there were things called fact. Now people live in such different information worlds, they can't even agree on the facts. And that makes it enormously difficult to maintain our social cohesion and to persuade people of the merits of different policies rather than just sticking to party. So that's our enduring challenge. And I do think for Democrats, we need to make the case powerfully, consistently, with great focus, that we want to make sure the economy in particular works for every American. We're going to leave no family behind. We're going to leave no community behind. We're going to leave no state behind. And I think that's the key to breaking down some of those barriers, because that, I think, is a message and an agenda that really resonates throughout the country.
So you've been suggested as a possible candidate to take Kamala Harris's place in the Senate, although it's unlikely. Governor's under pressure to pick a person of color. But the state attorney general's office is vacant now that it appears Xavier Becerra will take the position in the Biden administration he's been nominated for. Are you interested in that job?
Well, I'm interested in serving in any way I can, whether that's my constituents or at the state level or at the federal level. My goal has always been to try to meet the needs of people in our state and our community. And right now, obviously, the paramount challenge in California, as everywhere, is defeating the pandemic and our economic recovery. If I can help at the state level in doing that, I would be more than willing to do so. If I can help at the federal level, I just want to be of service. And I think the governor's got a lot of great choices to make, a lot of hard choices. And Conan, I'll tell you, at the beginning of this process, when the Senate seat looked like it would be open if Kamala Harris was successful, I used to say that I don't envy the governor's decision. Well, I really don't envy it now, because it's such a hard call, because there's so many good and talented people to choose from.
Congressman Adam Schiff, Democrat of Burbank and chair of the House Intelligence Committee, thanks for joining us, and have a happy New Year.
Thanks, Conan. You too.